The Taconic and Green Board of School Directors had their first in-depth look at the district's proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year on Tuesday, December 6th. The budget is still a work in progress, and some of the information that will drive tax rates and the final bottom line are not yet available. The Taconic and Green Board will be meeting again on December 20th for its next review of the spending plan, and the public will have an opportunity to weigh in. The budget that voters will be asked to endorse during March town meeting will be finalized in January. The Taconic and Green Regional School District, which includes the towns of Danby, Dorset, Landgrove, Londonderry, Manchester, Mount Tabor, Peru, Sunderland, and Weston, and operates 5 elementary and middle schools, which include the Courier Memorial School in Danby, the Floodbrook School in Londonderry, the Manchester Elementary Middle School, Sunderland Elementary Middle School, and the Dorset School, is looking at a budget proposal that, starting off, would have a 6% increase over the current budget, representing a bottom line increase from about $34.5 million to about $36.6 million. Susan Wilborn, the business manager for the Bennington-Rutland Supervisory Union, of which the Taconic and Green School District is part of, gave us an overview.
So yeah, we do have some added positions in the budget. I'd say that's the biggest driver. We have some additional positions for social emotional support and academic intervention. And we have some additional positions for classroom instructional support. We're not quite sure, I think, what we're calling this yet, but to have a team approach to classrooms, to have more support, more consistent support for the kids when people are absent, when they're out, so that kids are seeing the same people and we're not having subs coming in and out of the building as much. So that would be one of the main drivers. Obviously, we have health insurance going up, average of 12.9%. So that's a big cost increase. And secondary tuition rate increases always impacts the budget as well. January. At our January meeting, the board will vote the final budget. And at that point, we'll have a good handle of a tax rate estimate and can make some budget decisions on whether or not to draw from reserves, what the tax rate might look like. Right now, the state is estimating a pretty significant 16.3% increase in the base rate, which will drive tax rates down. But on the other side of that, we have common level of appraisals in individual towns, which will drive tax rates up if they go down, meaning that if the cost of homes, if the value of homes is going up and the assessed value of homes is not being done, reassessment basically, then we're going to see that common level appraisal go down, which will drive tax rates up. So having the base rate from the state be increased is very helpful. We don't know if that base rate will stick or not. The legislators have to vote on that. They'll do that in the spring. So.
Now, if I recall correctly, you're also coming into this budget cycle with a surplus left over from last year of about $250,000?
Right now, we're anticipating a surplus of about half a million this year. That's what
half a million.
Yeah, about. And that's, a moving target. We still have some unfilled positions. We don't know if we're going to be able to fill those, and some positions we put anticipated costs in for, and hoping that we're going to fill them. And some positions we've taken the anticipated costs out, saying, okay, well, we don't expect we're going to fill these positions this year. But that could change. So what we anticipate right now, it may end up being different in June. What we're going to do with this money, though, what the board is going to have to make a decision on whether or not they'd like to ask the voters to transfer any surplus into tax stabilization, as they've done in the past, whether or not we use some of this money towards next year's budget to help offset education spending and lower the tax rate. So those are decisions the board will make at their January meeting.
The budget is an effort to match up costs with the changing needs of the education system, which reflect to a degree the impact of the COVID pandemic. School Superintendent Randy Lowe spoke to this point during the Taconic and Green board meeting.
So I think probably there's a few big moves sort of in this budget as I see it. The first one relates to the merger. So when there were 7 different districts, you all had your own budgets. You all budgeted differently. And the merge happened, and one of the steps that wasn't ever taken was to be looking at like intervention services academic intervention services and social emotional services, and those are those first two bullets under budget to budget staffing. And so and that's been something that has been on my mind, because I knew that when I looked at the budget that we did not from the local budget staff in an equitable manner across our schools, and that was due to the different priorities and the ways that individual districts in the past had budgeted. So Sue and I spent a long time this budget development season looking at what intervention services were budgeted from what place, and worked to ensure that we had equitable funding at the local level, so that across, we did all BRSU schools. We didn't just do Taconic and Green. We included Meadowy as well, because for me, while you're different districts, I think about all of our kids as all of our kids, 'cause that's how I see it. So that meant that we made some changes for positions that had been funded from the title grant, the CFP grant, and so we made some changes from things that were grant funded to being locally funded. And so the intent of Title I funds is meant to provide additional funding to support communities that have a higher poverty level. So the idea, the whole premise of title funding is that you are funding at an equitable basis across all of your schools, and then these funds go to provide additional resources for those places where we know need it. It's not how we've operated since T&G came, so this budget reflects that. So the changes in the academic intervention, the instructional intervention line, are in order to provide that equitable programming. So now, as we look ahead to next year, the budget you're approving levels the playing field locally, and we will see additional intervention in our Title I eligible schools. In your case, it's Manchester and Courier. And we did the same thing with social emotional programming. So we're talking about the semantics as far as I'm concerned about language, but guidance counselors, social emotional intervention, we did the same thing. We want to make sure that the places that we have equitable services across our schools. And so when we're trying to do that, we have choices to make. We either level the playing field this way, or we level the playing field this way, and the increases are in order to provide what I consider to be needed at this time. You've heard me talk for a long time now about the challenges we're facing educationally. We are not unique. We are right with everybody else, and I feel like what we've done in this budget to level that is the right thing for our system right now. Over time, maybe that will change, but we continue to have children who are struggling, and we have a responsibility to provide the services in our schools to meet those needs right now. There's a lot of post-pandemic impact we're still seeing. I am saying to you that what's in here, I believe we continue to need right now.
The Bennington-Rutland Supervisory Union's budget will be reviewed at their next board meeting on December 19th, and the Taconic and Green Board will be meeting again the following night, on December 20th. Both meetings will start at 6:30 p.m. and are watchable via Zoom. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.